We are back in the Barn Theatre with Sam Denia, who is joining us for the third time with Some Mothers Do Ave. But before we go on to Some Mothers Do Ave, Sam, what have you been in at the Barn? Tell the audience, remind the audience what they've seen you in.
You probably would have seen me in Murder for Two, which was 2 years ago now. Wow. And Treasure Island.
Which wasn't too long ago.
Which wasn't too long ago. Just the other month, yeah.
And then back to play what?
Back to play Frank Spencer in Some Mothers Do Ave. Yeah, really excited for this one.
And you're down in the Cotswolds today to do what?
We were doing some promo, some stills, some videos for you to see in the atrium, I believe, and also potentially the outdoor space. I've been told, but that might be. Am I?
No, it's fine. By the time this comes out, it'll all be there for people to see.
So yeah.
So let's go right back, because the audience may have seen you a few times on the stage, but they probably don't know that much about you. So where are you from?
Well, I was born in London. I lived there for 6 years, and I moved to Liverpool, which is where I live now. Mm-hmm. And I've been acting since I was 8, really, in like youth shows and stuff. And then I went to London to train. And
where did you train?
At Drama Studio London.
Cool. Well, do you know the thing that's really interesting about you, Sam, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, you're almost more comfortable on the stage than off.
No, I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
This is hard for me.
Just human interaction is
socializing
tough.
is not my strong point.
Well, I mean, you're pretty good at it, but the thing is, when you're on the stage, like, you just come alive. And it's something that I think you've become sort of an icon here at the Barn. It's always in these sort of madcap, brilliant, larger than life,
wacky,
zany comedies. You seem to find yourself sort of front and center in all of them.
Yeah.
So have you always been like that? Is sort of comedy part of your upbringing, or sort of being flamboyant part of your upbringing?
Yeah, I think because I used to watch all the like classic sitcoms, Only Fools and Horses, Some Mothers Do Ave, and Fawlty Towers, all brilliant comedies, and I used to love watching them. And I just always had an affinity for comedy on stage. I feel like it's definitely my stronger point than drama, although I will take any drama job. But
don't be too desperate.
but yeah, comedy, I've always enjoyed it, and I've done comedy for as long as I can remember. And I agree. I think on the stage, I just feel a bit freer because there's a character to play, there's a story to tell. It's easier than real life.
It's easier than real life. I mean, I wish I had that as a. Yeah, well, anyway, so my time on the stage is over, but I think what's really exciting about you is I think that the Barn is going to be that launch pad for you to wonderful, brilliant things. And, you know, I'm amazed that you're still even able to come back, because some of the performances, you know, starting off with Murder for Two, you know, I just feel like that should have gone straight into the West End. I think that as a production, Brian Hodgson's production, who you worked again with in Treasure Island, you know, talk to us about that. Remind the audience about how complex and, you know, how skill orientated that show was.
It was an incredibly hard show. Because it was just two of us who played piano, and we had to tell this crazy murder mystery where there was only two of us. He played the inspector and I played all the suspects. So having to play all these different characters as well as learn a whole orchestration really for the whole show. And
it wasn't exactly the easiest piano part either.
No, Christ.
I just remember one point you're sort of leaning over backwards playing stuff and
playing over each other, playing each hand, madness. But I think it was like really impressive to watch.
It really was super impressive. It's one of my favourite shows we've ever had at the Barn. And if there was one thing that I would love to bring back at some point, it would be Murder for Two. And I think it just deserves to be at a sort of on a bigger stage.
I think because people don't know what it is, it might be hard to sell. But I feel like it's just so enjoyable.
Isn't that really annoying about if people don't know what it is, it's hard to sell?
Yeah.
You look at sort of like the film industry, that's not a problem. Like you just sort of new stuff is, if it's not new, I guess there's low, you can hang on the Marvel, the Avengers, all things Barbie but the things that I'm kind of interested in are the things that are totally fresh. But theatre, it's my biggest frustration in the world. If it's somebody you don't know in it, or it's not a known title, it's almost impossible to get things to do. What do we do about that, Sam?
I mean, if I had the answer, then I'd be a millionaire. But I mean, it's a shame because there's some really great shows out there that people are missing out on because they don't feel it's worth the risk. And I think you've got to take the risk.
Yeah.
Watch something that you don't know, and you'll find yourself laughing, as people did with Murder for Two, or crying, as they did with Murder for Two. But
yes, there was some. I just mean that tap routine you did on your knees as a young Scouse choir
boy.
Well, all the choir. There was a load of them in there. That was just one of my favourite moments ever. I saw this year, October this year, is 10 years that I've been involved with the Barn Theatre. So from walking through the doors to look at the place and go, oh my gosh, this has a lot of potential. I mean, you needed to have some imagination to see where it was going to end up.
Yeah.
To now, that's 10 years in October. And I think that Scouse tap dance has got to be one of my favourite moments ever.
Again, well, it was all Brian's brilliant ingenuity, but
I don't think you needed much convincing to take it and run with it.
Yeah, because there was three of them, and the only thing that I could change was a cap and a pose. And we did a whole sort of dance routine as
on
a
your
Scouse.
knees.
On my knees.
On your knees.
On my knees. I had sore knees after that
I'm
one.
really hoping Alex has got some B-roll to pull over the top of this so we can see. I know it's in the trailer, so please, viewers, you'll get a little bit of an insight into the wonders of Sam on his knees. Oh, that was really wrong.
Okay, wait a sec, Ewan. And I'm back for the third time.
There's a reason. We'll probably cut that bit. So, Joe O'Malley, what do you know? Again, another multi-returner of the Barn Theatre. I mean, I think you've met a few times.
Yes.
Joe has a game he plays with his actors called Funny or Die.
Oh, God, okay.
Which is just like a challenge in the rehearsal room. It's like, just be funny.
Right.
How does that make you feel?
Well, I mean, it's a bit daunting. But look, this script is already hilarious. And the character that I'm playing is so iconic. I can just sort of tap into that, and it is funny. I'm not overly worried about that note just yet. Although we'll see.
I didn't think you would be, to be honest.
But I'm really excited to work with Joe. I know that he's done some really good stuff here, especially Around the World in 80 Days was a big hit, I believe. It was. Yeah, he seems like a really nice guy, a really lovely, down to earth, hard worker.
And he really is. I've known Joe since drama school, so we were in the same year at the Guildford School of Acting. And I think we spent 3 years not speaking to each other, and actually have spent more time since working together. And one thing you're going to get, the audience is going to get with Joe, is it's going to be a night of good fun. And you are going to see your bellies are going to hurt leaving the auditorium. And the combination of the two of you working together is something that I think the team here, I know, has been waiting for. So I'm so pleased we've been able to make it work. And then as soon as I started revisiting, I used to watch a bit of Some Mothers Do Ave with my nan, and she was a big Michael Crawford fan as well. And as soon as it was mentioned that you were coming in, I knew it was written on the wall. I mean, I didn't get involved because I don't like to sort of force the issue. And I know Joe may have met you before, but I don't think he knows you very well. But I saw your name on the casting list. I just knew it was going to happen. And I promise you, I didn't even have to weigh in on it. You got it on pure merit of delivering in the audition room.
That's good. I'm thankful about that.
And not that I have any say here. Anyway. They just do whatever they want.
I mean, because it is big shoes to fill. Like Michael Crawford's, that part is so famous. And then also, I know that Joe Pasquale did this a few years ago
on
as
the
well.
tour, yeah.
And apparently that was a huge success. So It is a bit scary. It is a bit daunting. But as I said, I think
So what is scary? Obviously, like there's big shoes to fill. But Guy, the writer who you met in the auditions, I believe, he doesn't want it to be a replica production of the original. So does that help, or does it actually make it worse that you've got to sort of come up with something original?
that's the thing that I've sort of like been debating about, like whether I should try and I guess like put my mark on the character, or try and not like mimic him. But you know, if I was watching this show, I would want to see Frank Spencer that I know and I have loved seeing on screen. So it's a really hard line to walk across.
It's a balancing act for sure, because people don't want to come and not recognize the character.
Exactly.
But, you know, the script is an original script, but it's Frank Spencer written as Frank Spencer was. What I think is unique is it's you playing it. So I don't think you're going to have to work hard to bring that originality. What I think people, you know, we've gone through the same thing with Sorry Prime Minister, which was on in autumn 2023, which was based on Yes Minister. So this is territory that we've crossed before. And Jonathan Lynn, who directed it, actually ended up playing Jim Hacker in it. I'm not getting into that right now. So Jonathan, when we were looking at casting people for that, he just did not want a hologram of the previous, but he didn't want mimicry on stage. He wanted original, authentic performances. But you do end up seeing Hacker of old, as we will see Crawford or Frank of old, because those are the lines. That's the character.
Yeah.
We just see the unique element of it is what you bring to the table, which nobody else can replicate, because it's you, your experiences, your body, your voice, all of these things. So I think you're right in that. Give the people what they want, but within those margins, bring Sam to the table.
Yeah.
And that's exciting.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, it's a fantastic role to play. I'm really, really excited to play Frank Spencer, but and I'm sure Joe will help as well. Like when we're in rehearsals, he'll be guiding everyone, and he'll probably have an idea of what he wants from me as well, which will help me, you know, start doing it. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to Treasure Island for a second. So that would be very recent in people's minds.
Yeah.
In their memories, yeah. So talk us through that one, because it's a very different show, still active musicianship element in it. So how many instruments did you have to play in that?
Only the one.
The two.
Another one. It was
the piano and your voice.
Oh, it was
the
two.
voce.
Yeah. No, two. Well, I guess three then, because there was bass as well. I played bass guitar.
There you go. Three.
I thought it was just one.
There you go. You're selling yourself short.
I know.
There,
I keep doing that, Johan. Yeah, three. And again, that was a whole different feel, you know, because it was a Christmas show. It wasn't just a comedy. There was a great story behind it, and some nice
and an original piece as well. So
original.
Obviously based on the epic story Treasure Island, but it was original. Sort of, I mean, there were changes to the. Well, you tell the people the changes from, you know, his original music. There was Alan sort of played with the storyline a little bit as well.
I mean, it was sort of tailored to be more of a Christmas show, like a more of a family friendly show, because the book's actually it's quite dark. It
is,
and Long John Silver kills people like quite regularly.
I mean, in my head, Long John Silver kills people, so that wasn't a surprise to me when you just said that. He was like a notorious fictional pirate.
But I think, true, yeah. But I think in this script, he came across as a more torn, very deep sort of character. Instead of just he's a pirate and this boy makes him change his ways. Yeah. He's already sort of toying with morals and what's right and wrong.
So do you think we made it better?
I think we did.
Oh my gosh!
And also the music was great. I thought the music was a big strong point of the show, and I believe that they were brought in relatively late, so they did a fantastic job.
Yeah. They only had a few months, and they ended up having. So I mean, there was like 16 songs or something in it as well, and it really did glue those sort of complexities of the script together as well. So
it was great fun.
One of the things that struck me about that production was how tight knitted that company was.
Yeah.
And to talk to me about that, that's Christmas in the Cotswolds. You're all away from home. It's got to be, tough.
Yeah.
In certain, I know Cirencester is a lovely place to live, but the actor's life, you miss a lot of these big events that happen, birthdays, Christmases, maybe both at that time of year. But you had an amazing rapport with all of the company members on that.
Yeah, we really, really enjoyed that show. And I think what made it so great was the cast. And our chemistry on stage and off stage is something that I'll always sort of treasure. And
Excuse the
I
pun.
know, sorry.
Very good.
But yeah, I think they were really, really great. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but I believe one member of the cast is coming back for Some Mothers. I won't say who, but yeah, they were all amazing. And as I said, yeah, it helped.
And do you think that's sort of important with sort of regional theatre, places like the Barn, that you can lean on the team at the Barn or your co-cast mates or the company mates to get through? Because it's not, I've been there myself. It's not an easy life for an actor, right?
No, it's not. And, because I've got a partner at home, I've got all my family and friends at home, and being away at such an important time, Christmas time. And as you said, my mum's birthday's at that time as well. So it is hard being away, and you do make sacrifices. And I think having such a wonderful support around you, especially during that time, is always welcome. And as I said, they were fantastic. And I do think having a close rapport with your cast is also important for the show, especially comedy, because I think the audience can sense if there's not that spark, that chemistry.
And I think that's obviously built in the rehearsal room by the director.
Yeah.
And so Brian Hodgson, who you've worked with twice
Yes, a few times now. Brian, bless him, love him. Yeah.
Again, a multi-returner at the Barn. There's a theme here that I think that when it's not broken, often the best thing is not to fix it.
Yeah.
And these people who the Barn sort of prides itself on being able to find emerging talent and then to give them a platform. And the dream is that they never have to come back here. And that's sort of like, as I was saying to you, I think we get it right, the right piece with the right actor, and we won't be able to afford to have Sam Denia here the next time. And I think that Brian, Joe, all these people who we are so invested in them and their talent. Jess Daniels, who's just directed Constellations for us, Rudy Percival, who's a Cirencester composer. The dream for us is not just to create shows that play the wonderful audience of Cirencester, but also then go on to Future Life. But it's the people, and that's super, super important to me, that this is that platform organisation. Even these guys here, the people in the building itself, I almost want you all to outgrow the Barn and go on to wonderful things. And I think that is the purpose of this place. And then when you do come back, you go, do you know what? They gave me one, I'll give them one. Well, we gave you three. So
Yeah,
three.
Three times.
Three. No, but it's really, really exciting to see sort of how you've grown as well. I think even now, talking to you now, this is the most words I've heard come out of your mouth.
Yeah. No, because I've always been quite a quiet person, but I think especially Murder for Two, that's where I kind of felt like, actually, I can do this. This is good. Seems like I'm good.
You are.
Let's try and have more faith in myself and more belief.
Yeah. Well, if the whole organisation has all the belief in the world in you, we're so fond of you, and believe in you, and know that you're going to deliver every single time. So just do what you do. You don't need our help. We probably need yours.
Thanks, Johan. No, but thank you, seriously. That's nice.
So on a really awkward note, I think we should leave it there.
Okay.
And folks at home, Sam's going to be playing. He's basically a I'm claiming homegrown talent here
Christ,
at the Barn
I've been here
Theatre.
so much now.
Playing one of the most iconic roles in comedy history. So, which camera should you look at, Alex? Sam, look at the camera. Tell the audience.
I'm playing Frank Spencer in Some Mothers Do Have Him in 2 months' time now. Book your tickets fast because it will go. We're going to have a great time.
Thank you, folks.